isu semasa, segalanya baru dan benar hanya di Berita Dunia.
Today, and I'm really not well, and I have a very special guest in the studio. Before we went on the commercial break, I mentioned to you that Dave Spence is the race director for Xterra Malaysia, and we're going to find out a little bit more about the program. Hi Dave, thank you for joining us. Morning, very, very glad to have you. Perhaps before we go into Xterra, you can tell us a little bit more about yourself.
Okay, well first of all, thanks for inviting me on this morning. A little bit about me. I am actually a race participant.
Right.
This is my first entry into race course design. It's something that I've wanted to do for some time.
Okay, finally dream come true.
Yeah, a little bit actually. I've got Sean Chi, the owner of the franchise of Xterra here in Malaysia, to thank for that actually, for asking me to get involved.
Extremely. How is it that you came into this? I mean, just becoming a participant doesn't mean that you would necessarily become entrenched in the whole workings of it. Now, what is your background actually?
Well, I'm an ex-fat little banker, I'd like to describe myself.
Not very fat though.
Well, not these days. I used to be. So you wanted to know my background.
Right.
So I was overweight. I didn't do very much by way of exercise, and I decided to change all of that a few years ago.
Now you look really fit.
Thank you.
Wow, there you go. Xterra can do that for you as well. No, anyhow, so let's talk about Xterra. What is Xterra? I mean, not a lot of Malaysians would understand what Xterra is. They maybe heard of other programs of similar nature, but not Xterra. Now, can you explain to us what Xterra is?
Sure. Well, it sounds a bit scary, doesn't it, when you say Xterra?
Xterra, like some alien coming to town.
Correct, but it's actually not at all. In essence, it's a triathlon type of event, but it's a triathlon with a difference.
Right.
The difference is that instead of having to go on tarmac and concrete, we spend most of our actual time off the road, away from traffic.
Right.
And obviously Malaysia's got a lot of beautiful countryside.
Correct.
So this is an off-road triathlon.
Right, we've got trails, we've got jungles, we've got our palm estates, we have a lot of laterite, and we can see some pictures on the screen right now, and we're looking at the different terrains that you would encounter as opposed to a normal triathlon.
Yeah, and it is. You're going to be running on trails, you're going to be riding on through rubber plantation, through palm plantation, through fire roads.
Right.
And it's totally different. If you're having started out on the road and doing Ironman and things like that, it's a bit boring.
Yeah, no, that's what I was about to say. It looks like it's such a scenic thing to do, even if you may not be fully competitive out for the gold, it is something that you would naturally be able to enjoy, even though, you're just a random participant.
Absolutely right.
And we see that there's some information on Xterra Malaysia. When is it happening? Where is it happening? What's going down?
Okay.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Right, well, the event takes place at the end of April, the weekend of the 26th through to the 28th.
Oh, coming up soon.
Yep,
right.
And it's out at Putrajaya. A lot of people think, my word, what's off-road triathlon doing in Putrajaya?
Yeah, because when you think of Putrajaya, it's sort of like a concrete jungle of sorts, not a real, off-road kind of adventure.
Yeah, I've got to be honest, when Sean spoke to me about it, I thought exactly the same thing, knowing how many other beautiful places there are in Malaysia.
In Malaysia, right?
Correct.
So why Putrajaya? How is it that Putrajaya will be able to offer this facility?
Right. Well, I think very simply, Putrajaya has a lot of fantastic facilities around it.
So it's got secrets. Right.
Well, it's got some infrastructure, most importantly, I guess. Facilities for participants, places to stay. It's fairly central.
Yeah.
But
close to the airport.
Very close. But what I was worried about, I've got to be honest, and I was worried, that we weren't going to have those trails that I spoke about. And I've been really surprised at what I've discovered, literally within a stone's throw of the city.
And it's amazing because I think there is a kit at the end of the show that will be able to show a snippet of what...
I'm not giving too much away.
No, there's a snippet of what could possibly be happening at the trails and for cycling. So that's really quite interesting. Maybe we'll share with them later. Now, what kind of people would actually participate in this kind of event? Because you have the typical triathlon participants, you have the marathon participants, you have the just strictly cycling participants. Now, what kind of participant are we expecting here?
Well, I mean, we're expecting people from all walks of life, really.
Do you have to be like a slow athlete to be able to participate in this?
Absolutely not.
Right.
I think it's really important that actually we get that point across. One of the differences about Xterra is because it is off-road.
Right.
You can go at your own pace pretty much.
I think that's the key word. Are we able to, go at our own pace? Would we have to be like, oh, somebody's chasing me and I can't finish this, it looks like it's too difficult? No.
Well, it depends how competitive you want to be. I mean, one of the things that Xterra has is a World Championship event over in Maui each year, a bit like the Ironman event does.
Okay.
Now, if you want to qualify for that, and there are qualifying slots at this race at the end of April, as I mentioned, 27th and 28th, the actual main race is on the 28th.
Right.
But there's other smaller events going on around that. There's short trail runs, there's sprint distance triathlon off-road as well. But if you wanted to, realise a dream and get to a world championship, you're going to have to obviously race.
So Malaysia is part of a World Series.
It is.
So we're on the circuit, and once you qualify here, you'll be able to race in Hawaii.
If you qualify.
If you qualify.
So you're going to have competitors that want maybe to achieve that goal and want to race.
Right.
Then there's going to be other people that just want to enjoy the outdoors, have a bit of fun, and get dirty, to be honest.
Yes, get dirty. And I saw the sort of symbol, it says having a dirty weekend. So perhaps it's something, you might want to explore.
Well, I think
it's a different way of experiencing dirty weekend.
I've got to be honest. I mean, one of the attractions for me of being off-road is getting dirty, and it's like being a child again. As kids we used to like getting covered in dirt, well, I did anyway. And I think that helps us connect with that sort of feeling of being young again.
No, it's so true. I think a lot of us forget about the outdoors nowadays with computers, with smartphones, with air conditioning, and we're so pampered, and we forget where we live in.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's a great opportunity. Now, how popular is this sport overseas? I mean, in Malaysia, not a lot of people are aware of this kind of, I don't know, format, perhaps?
Well, I guess the format's relatively new to Malaysia, but I think Xterra started in 1996.
Right.
So it's been going sort of, about 17 odd years now.
Quite some time.
It's now, I believe, one of the fastest growing endurance brands globally, and the Xterra World Tour, which this event in Malaysia forms now part of, is growing very, very quickly. So it's increasing in popularity.
Right.
I think the attraction of that is that people are getting a little bit bored with the concrete. There's enough concrete in their lives during their working life. They don't want to involve that during their sort of free time at the weekends as well. So getting off-road is becoming much more popular. And certainly looking at the registrations that we've had so far, it's really encouraging that this is a popular thing here in Malaysia as well.
That's good to hear. I mean, I'm looking forward to this. I hope I'll be able to, maybe participate in a smaller, I understand that it's like trail running, there's like 5 kilometers and 11 kilometers.
Right.
If you think you're not up for the big numbers, you can hit the small ones, like 5 kilometers, enjoy yourself in the scenery of sorts.
Yep.
So hopefully this will happen. And if participants want to find out a little bit more, if you're interested to participate, is there a portal to go to?
There's a website, which is xterramai.com, I believe.
That's right.
There's also a Facebook page, although I'm not a great Facebook person. I prefer real friends myself. You can check us out on that website or through Facebook, I believe.
Right, so Xterra Malaysia is looking for Facebook, and if you are going on the website, it's www.xterramai.com, so for more information. But before we go into a little bit more details, we want to find out, what does it take for one to participate in something like this? Do you have to do a lot of training? Do you need to have the right gear? Or it's just we want to find out a little bit more.
Yeah, a lot of people ask me that question. To be honest, I think there's two really important qualities that you need to have in order to do any endurance race, but particularly perhaps an Xterra race, and that is a bit of a sense of humour.
Okay.
Okay.
Why is that?
Well, because you're going to get dirty, and some of us, want to look nice and smart. I mean, to be honest, this is more clothing than I normally wear, and I'm certainly a lot cleaner than I normally am, just for you, Elaine.
Okay, thank you so much.
I think one of the important qualities is, don't take yourself too seriously.
Okay.
But also...
Bruise, cut, scrapes, all right. Figure it out, right?
Yeah, there'll be maybe a little bit of that. But if you want to gently sort of tippy-toe through the foliage,
you can do
that
too, yeah.
So a bit of a sense of humour and strength of mind. If you want to finish something, like anything in life, you've got to have a bit of determination.
Right.
Other than that, actually, I mean, it's amazing how many sort of, disabled people participate in these types of events around the world. You do not need to be super fit.
Right, so it's essentially putting your mind to it and making it happen.
Yeah.
Essentially, right?
Okay.
Like everything else in life. Okay, so in order to navigate your course that you are setting right now, is there any essential skills for those who are competitive, specifically?
Specific skills, you can rest assured, even though we're off-road, you won't need to read a map. All the trails are going to be very well marked, and you will not get lost in the jungle.
Amazing.
Because we do not want to have to come and find you.
Oh, rescue, right? So that's really important information indeed, because when you go into off-road, you're wondering how would you know where to go?
So it will be very well marked. We're in the process of doing that now. The other important thing, I think, is that there's this sense of purpose that you're going to have to get yourself to the end.
Okay.
Obviously, we will help you as far as possible to do that by making sure the trail is well laid and well marked. There's going to be some different terrain. We're trying to give a little bit of everything.
Teaser of what kind of terrains to expect?
Well, you mentioned palm and rubber plantations. There's going to be some of that. There's going to be some rocks. There's going to be some water. And there's going to be sections which will be difficult to go fast through. And there's going to be other sections which will favour those that are perhaps more technical or a little bit braver, a little bit more nimble with their footwork.
Right.
But for the really fast runners or the really fast cyclists as well, there'll be some sections where they can actually put some sort of speed down as well.
Okay.
So a bit for everyone, and hopefully it will balance things out so that everybody's got a chance.
Fantastic, so variety for all. Now that's all the time that we have on the show. Thank you so much for sharing with us. Xterra Malaysia happening 27-28 April at Putrajaya. Sign up now, www.xterramine.com.
Thank you very much.
We'd love to see everyone there in Putrajaya.
Thank you.
We will be actually wrapping with a little bit of a snippet, so stay tuned. Penama today signing off. Thank you.